How are you feeling?
I just gave birth, so I'm really tired. Yeah.
And can you tell me a bit about the child?
It's a boy.
It's a boy.
Yeah. I named him after my old son, because that's what my husband wanted. That's it.
May I ask his name?
It's Jarrah.
What are conditions like in the camp?
Right now it's okay, you know, I get fed, I have a heater now, so, but, you know, it's kind of difficult getting around doing stuff for yourself, especially now that I have a child.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay. Will you be able to care for him here?
It's going to be a bit difficult because right now I don't have money, because people without money, it's kind of hard to get around, you know, with the amount of things they give us, so yeah.
Is life in the camp better than it was in Begum over the last few months?
Definitely. I mean, I'm not starving. I have a roof over my head. You know, before I was sleeping outside, and and there was no medical care, so everyone was getting sick. My kids died because of sickness. So yeah.
You have obviously been through a lot over the last few years. Could you describe for us what it has been like to live with and under Islamic State?
You know, at first it was nice. It was like how they, you know, showed it in the videos. Like, you come, you make a family together, and then afterwards things got harder. You know, when we lost Raqqa, we had to keep moving and moving and moving. The situation got difficult. Yeah.
Was there a point where you started to have second thoughts about your life in Islamic State, under Islamic State?
Just only at the end, like after my son died, I realized I had to get out for the sake of my children, for the sake of my daughter and my baby. So, yeah.
It was only at the end. It was only at the end. But you didn't have any regrets up until that point. What was it about Islamic State that attracted you? What did you like about it?
The way they showed how you can go, they'll take care of you, you can have your own family there, you can do anything. You're living under Islamic law. Yeah.
Did you know what Islamic State were doing when you left for Syria? Because they had beheaded people, there were executions.
Yeah, I knew about those things, and I was okay with it at first, because, you know, I started becoming religious just before I left. And, you know, from what I heard, that Islamically that is all allowed, so I was okay with it.
You didn't question that?
No.
Okay. There's a struggle going on in the UK now at home about whether you should be allowed to come home or not. You know that, do you? Okay. What are your feelings about that?
I think a lot of people should have like sympathy towards me for everything I've been through. You know, when I didn't know what I was getting into when I left, and I just was hoping that maybe for the sake of me and my child, they let me come back.
Okay.
Because I can't live in this camp forever. It's not really possible.
The head of the Foreign Intelligence Services in the UK says people like you are potentially very dangerous. What would you say to him?
They don't have any evidence against me doing anything dangerous. When I went to Syria, I was just a housewife the entire 4 years. Stayed at home, took care of my husband, took care of my kids. I never did anything dangerous. I never made propaganda. I never encouraged people to come to Syria, so they don't really have proof that I did anything that is dangerous.
Okay. Your family have made an appeal for you to come home. They are pleading with the British government to allow you to come home. Do you have a message for your family?
You know, just keep trying to get me back. I really don't want to stay here. I don't want to take care of my child in this camp because I'm afraid he might even die in this camp. So yeah, that's it.
What do you think life would be like back in the UK?
I don't know, because I know there would be a lot of restrictions on me. I wouldn't be free to do things like that I used to be able to do. I don't know if they'll take my child away and all these things. That's kind of one of my biggest priorities, my child, because I left because of him. So I wouldn't want him to be taken away from me. And I'm just trying to give him a better life. Yeah.
If the authorities took the child away from you, would you accept that?
It would be hard to accept. I would try my best to keep him with me. I don't see any reason why they would take him away from me. I don't.
I think there are concerns because of what you have been through, views that people feel you may have or still have in regard to Islamic State.
Just something they have to question me about before they take my child away, I guess.
One question that people are asking is whether you can be rehabilitated.
Yeah, it would be really hard. Everything I've been through, you know, I'm still kind of in the mentality of Dola, you know, planes over my head and having an emergency backpack and starving, and all these things. It would be a really big shock to go back to the UK and like start life again. Yeah.
May I ask, what was it that attracted you? Was it from watching videos? Was there somebody who recruited you, or a cleric who recruited you? What was it that prompted a 15-year-old girl to go to Syria?
During the time I left, you know, Dola was on the news and stuff, and like a lot of videos were coming out, and I saw all the videos on the internet, and that just kind of attracted me to them. Like it attracted a lot of people.
Same as others. Okay. Do you know whether your friend Amira Abbas is still alive?
I don't know. I haven't heard from her in a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you feel when your other friend, Khadija Sultana, died?
It was a big shock because it was at the beginning of when we left. It was maybe a year after we left. It wasn't something I suspected. You know, it just came as a really big shock. Like now, if I heard that Amira was dead, I wouldn't be surprised. I would be hurt, obviously, but I wouldn't be surprised because of the situation she's still in. But when Khadija died, the situation was still good in Raqqa, you know. It just came out of nowhere.
Do you feel that you have made a mistake? Do you think you've made a mistake when you look back at what you've been through over the last 4 years?
A mistake in going back to going to Dola?
Yes, a mistake in coming here, living under Islamic State.
In a way, yes, but I don't regret it because it's changed me as a person. It's made me stronger, tougher. You know, I married my husband. I wouldn't have found someone like him back in the UK. I had my kids. You know, I did have a good time there. It's just at the end things got harder and I couldn't take it anymore. And I had to leave.
Have you had any contact with your husband? Does he know that you have had a child?
No, I don't know how to get in contact with him. I don't know if they would let me get in contact with him. I don't know where he is right now. I would like to get in contact with him.
Have consular officials from the British government been in touch with you? Have you had a phone call from them?
No one, just another journalist, that's it.
Nothing. Okay.
No.
Are you able to see the news, the coverage centering on you? Are you aware?
No, I don't have my phone. I can't go on the internet. I don't know what's going on around me right now. Just getting in contact with my family was difficult. I just got lucky, I guess.
You have had some contact with them, have you?
Yeah, the last journalist that came, he contacted my family for me.
Okay. Again, is there anything that you would like to tell them? Do you have a message for them?
Just please don't give up on trying to get me back. I really don't want to stay here. That's it.
It must have been a terrible shock for them when you left.
Because at first, obviously, they did try and help. They did try and ask me to come back, but I kept saying no. them, and then afterwards they gave up, and now I'm kind of, after 4 years, I'm asking them for help now. It's kind of a big slap in the face to them, but I really need their help.
What would you say to them?
I'm sorry for leaving.
And your future? Do you feel that there is the possibility of a good future for you and your son?
Yes, if the UK are willing to, take me back and help me start a new life again, and just try and move on from everything that's happened in the last 4 years.